Hello, today I'm going to show you this program that I made. This program is related, it uses a servo, the little motor that rotates. So, the objective of the program was to move the servo using the potentiometer, and then using the RGB LED, we had to kinda represent these values of the servo. For example, if the servo's values are less than 1/3, then the RGB LED should turn red, and etc. So I'll explain this. First of all, I wrote into my code include servo.h. That was for including the library of the servo so it could be used. Then I gave here Servo Emerald, I gave a name to my servo. You can give any name that you like, for example, Servo Donald Trump, Servo Obama, whatever you want. Then on void setup, I called my servo emerald.attach pin 3. It's very important, pin 3, and it's also very important that the servo is correctly connected. And then I woke up the pins for the RGB LED. As you know, pin 11, which is red color, pin 12, which is blue color, and pin 13, that is green color. Then on void loop, I created a variable called sensorPot. This variable helped me to read the values of the potentiometer. That's what I did this. Int sensorPot is equal to analog read pin A0. So this analog read pin A0 will give us the values from the potentiometer. And then I created a map. So what's a map for? Maybe you are going to say, a map helps us to find a location. Yeah, but here in the Arduino, the map helps us to turn big values into small values or vice versa. I mean, for example, let's take this code as an example. The servo can move from 0 to 180 degrees, the servo that I have. But our teacher recommended that we should move the servo from 10 to 170 degrees. So I did the following. As you can see here, 0,170. So the potentiometer, the values that the program reads from the potentiometer go from 0 to 170. So this way, it is a lot way easier for the servo and for us to program. So let's see. Then emerald.write sensorPot. So here I'm telling the servo to move to the value that the sensorPot gives. For example, if the sensorPot is equal to 70, then the servo will move 70 degrees. This is why I use the map thing, so it could be easier. Because if we hadn't used a map, imagine, for example, saying Emerald, that is the name of the servo, write sensorPot, and sensorPot is equal to 500. Obviously, since the servo only goes from 0 to 180, it would never move. Next, as I told you in the beginning, if the value of the potentiometer is less than 1/3 of the degrees, the RGB will turn red. For doing this, I used an if condition. If sensorPot is smaller than 56, then digital write pin 11 high. As I said, pin 11 is red. So, if the sensorPot values are smaller than 56, then the pin should turn red. After this, I use the else if condition, which says if sensorPot is bigger than 56 or equal than 56, and sensorPot is smaller than 113, then the RGB LED will turn green. So, another instruction for this program was If the servo values are between 1/3 and 2/3 of the program, then the RGB LED should turn green. And that's what I did here. As you can see, sensor pod bigger or equal than 56, sensor pod smaller than 113. So 2/3 of 170 are 113. And finally, I had to do this. If the value goes from 113 to 170, which means 113 to 170 is 2/3 to 3/3, then the RGB will turn blue. So it will turn blue, not because it is sad, because it has to turn blue. No, I'm joking. Stupid joke. Then this LED should turn blue. And that would be all. I had fun while making this. It was a little bit complicated because, I still consider myself as a beginner related to the Arduino, so I did not know how to do this, but then inspiration came. So as I said in the beginning, I won't be able to show you this, but at least I could explain the code. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.